Hello and welcome to Bible Study with Alice, and today we're on day 16, Proverbs 16 of our daily proverb reading. We're reading from the ESV translation, but you're more than welcome to join us from a different translation. As you can see, we are on Proverbs 16. These videos are filmed in real time. Today's date is the 16th of April 25 and it's a Wednesday. There is a disclaimer as usual, and that is one of these videos are unedited and also probably stumble out on my wording. Let's get started. The plans of the heart belong to a man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the way of a man is pure in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirit. Commit to your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. The Lord has made everything for its purpose, for the Lord has made everything for its purpose, even the wicked for the day of trouble. Everyone who is arrogant in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Be assured he will not go unpunished. By steadfast love and faithfulness iniquity is atoned for, and by the fear of the Lord one turns away from evil. When a man way please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. 8. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenge with injustice. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. An oracle is on the lips of a king. His mouth does not sin in judgment. A just balance and scale are the Lord. All the way in the bag are his work. It is an abomination to kings to do evil, for the throne is established by righteousness. 13. Righteous lips are the delight of king, and he loves him who speaks what is right. A king's wrath is a messenger of death, and a wise man will appease it. In the light of a king's face there is life, and his favour is like the clouds that brings the spring rain. How much better to get wisdom than gold. To get understanding is to be chosen rather than silver. The highway of the upright turns aside from evil. Whoever guards his way preserves his life. Pride goes before destruction, and haughty spirit before a fall. It is better to be of a lowly spirit with the poor than to divide the spoil with the proud. 20. Whoever gives thought to the word will discover good, and blessed is he who trusts in the Lord. To the wise of heart call discerning, and sweetness of speech increase persuasiveness. Good sense is a fountain of life to him who has it, but the instructions of fools is folly. The heart of the wise makes his speech judicious, and has persuasiveness to his lips. Gracious words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul, and health to the body. 25. There's a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. A worker's appetite works for him, and his mouth urges him on. 27. A worthless man plots evil, and his speech is like a scorching fire. A dishonest man spreads strife, and a whisper separates close friends. A man of voice... really can't read today, can I? 29. A man of violence entices neighbour and leads him in a way that is not good. Whoever winks his eye plans dishonest things. He who purses his lips brings evil to pass. Grey hair is a crown of glory. It is gained in righteous life. Whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. The lot is cast upon the lap, but his every decision is from the Lord. So that is 16 complete, and tomorrow we will be doing 17. So with Proverbs 16, it is written as the last 15 Proverbs have been by King Solomon. And as I said in the last 15 Proverbs, that it's during his reign, because we don't know exactly, when I say we, that's historians and scholars, they don't know exactly when the Proverbs were written. They don't actually have a specific point in history when the Proverbs were written. All they do know is it's during his reign, and his reign was during 970 and 931 BC, and that's all they know. So it is just during his reign. Not all the Proverbs are written by him, but a good chunk of Proverbs are, and yeah, so it's during his reign is all the information we know about this particular proverb. What we do also know is that the Proverbs were written for young Jewish men who were leaving like adolescence, youth sort of period, going into adulthood, and that the Proverbs were written to give these young men wisdom. But we can take wisdom from the Proverbs into our own lives anyway, so we can see it from our own perspective as well. Even though obviously the Bible study is about the Bible, but we can also take what we can from the Bible into our own life, which is generally what we all do anyway. But anyway, so with Proverbs 16, it's basically talking about the importance of seeking God's guidance in all aspects of life, including our plans, action, and even our words. So basically with this, it's basically saying that it is important to seek God's guidance in everything we do. So that's, in our all aspects of our life. So work, if we work, that is. If we don't, we don't. But yeah, we'll go with it. Go with it as if we do, because I'm going to be obviously saying things that people who don't work do, so, or people who don't have this. So we're just going to cover a general broad aspect here. So it'd be like work, schooling, family life, so looking after children or caring responsibilities, because not everybody has children, as I said. Not everything's going to fit to this box, but you're going to obviously get something out of what I'm going to say. It could be your health, it could be your marital relationship. So it doesn't have to be, when I say marital, it doesn't necessarily mean marriage. It could be your personal relationships with your boyfriend, girlfriend, whichever it is. So it could be your marital relationships, could be personal friendships, could be, as I said, work. If you're unemployed, you're seeking work. If it's school, doesn't necessarily mean school as in primary, secondary school, as in when you're a child. You could be going back to school to gain a qualification and becoming a mature student. Case in point, I'm coming towards the end of my degree in business business management is what I was trying to think of. I say administration, but I do administration in my work, so I was combining my work and my degree together, which wasn't working out. But yeah, so we're covering that. So yeah, it could be going to church, not going to church, because the thing is, people do read the Bible and not go to church. I mean, there are some people that I do know and they are kind of, I won't say less active, but they're less active because they probably can't go to church for health related reasons, or they can't go to church because they don't drive and they don't live close to a church that they are a part of. I mean, we probably all live near a church that we're not a part of, and we don't really want to be going to that church. We want to be going to our own church. You know, where I live, there's a church in the village. Doesn't necessarily mean that I go to that church. That's what I mean. So, you know, people might not go to church for whatever reason, or they do, but they still read the Bible. It's fine. However you choose to do things is fine. But basically, where I was going with this is, in all aspects of our life, and all those things I mentioned, it's important to seek God's guidance. So, case in point, you could wake up one morning and you could be feeling really unwell for whatever reason. Doesn't matter what health problem you've got, you're just not feeling very well. And it could be in relation with your health, or you could just generally be unwell with a cold. Regardless of it, you're going to be wanting to seek out God's guidance on that, because you want Him to be able to guide you through your ill health. Now, I know, because I'm one of these people that have a long-term medical condition which doesn't resolve overnight. It will probably never resolve itself. But I can still seek out God's guidance in helping me through it, because it doesn't necessarily mean I want Him to cure what I got wrong with me. I just want Him to help me to get through what I'm going through, so it gives me a bit more comfort in my life, knowing that yes, I've got this problem, but God's always by my side, keeping me safe, keeping me going with what's wrong with me. I mean, it's not overly noticeable what's wrong with me, I have to admit, but when people do see me, they well, if they see me as I am, they probably wouldn't know there's something wrong with me. But if they see what I do to get to do my everyday stuff, they'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But it's not overly noticeable. But I still want God's guidance to help me through that, which I'm sure that you would all want that too. And it's obviously all about including our plans. So that's obviously including God's guidance into our plans. Now, our plans could be anything. It could just be our plans for the day, it could be our plans for the future, it could be our plans for our children's future, if you've got children, that is. If you haven't, then that's fine. But it'd be, His plans in our, His guidance in our future, in our plans on what we're doing. Having Him there with us every single day is having His guidance there in our plans. And even our words. Now, with that, we had mentioned it yesterday, video. Oh gosh, I'm not very good at this today. Well, all about the power of words, particularly in resolving conflict and building healthy relationships. So, having God's guidance in our words can also go back to what I said in that video, so it's also helpful to watch that video as well. But having God's guidance even with our words, being good and thinking pure words, and being nice to people, not being horrible. Nothing's worse than being horrible to somebody. I mean, we can't change everybody, can we? But we can have God's guidance within what we say and how we are with our words, to speak kind words about people. Very difficult, but it can be done. It is very difficult. I can assure you it can be very difficult, because sometimes I probably think to myself, I really wish, and then I'll say what I'm thinking. I don't obviously say it to anybody, I just say it in my head, like whatever that word is, whatever one, it is very easy to be negative and very easy to say something nasty about somebody, but it is very hard to be kind to people. It is very difficult, and it can actually be done, and I know it can be done, and it has been done for me. I have been able to do that. So that's obviously what Proverbs 16 is talking about. So then when you go back into the Bible itself, obviously with the original audience, it's obviously then saying that with these young men, that the importance of seeking God's guidance in all aspects of life, including their plans, action, and even their words, goes with their lives as well. So that's what I mean. We can incorporate our own lives to their lives. Obviously, our cultural differences, there's going to be obviously cultural differences from the time of when Proverbs were written, the book of Proverbs, the Bible in general. There's going to be a difference in cultural aspects anyway. There's going to be so many different ways of them doing things and how we do things and stuff. There's obviously going to be a big difference in how things are done. And because of that, there is obviously going to be a lot of different challenges to overcome. But with these people, they, you know, these wisdom texts in the Proverbs are there to help these people to want to come too closer to God and seek out God's guidance, regardless of how easy and how hard it is, because that's obviously the ultimate purpose of it, is to seek out His guidance. So that is Proverbs 16 complete. I will write in the day and the date. So it's day 16, and on the 16th of April 25. So yeah, so that is Proverbs 16 complete. Tomorrow we'll be doing Proverbs 17. I had to think now. Proverbs 17. Thank you for watching. Please like my content, please subscribe to my channel, and please turn on the notification bell so then you get notified of content that gets uploaded to the channel like this. Thank you and goodbye.